Welcome to another edition of Speak on It. This is episode, if I'm not mistaken, this will be six. This is the NFL preview. Um, we're gonna go off the topics. Topics is really going to be the divisions. We're going to break down each division and see how we get to the playoffs. From the playoffs, see how we get to the Super Bowl. And in between that, we'll have a lot of discussion, a lot of disagreements, a lot of biasness. But let's get started. We got Biv, we got Dom, we got Chris. We may have some other participants that may jump in later on down the line. We don't know how that's going to go, but it is what it is. So, fellas, let's start off alphabetical order. The AFC East. Speak on it.
I want to thank you guys for reminding me.
I can go first on that, man. The AFC East. So you want to go from first to worst?
Go however you want to do it. Break down just how like record wise you think if you got it broken down in records or from first to worst, however you want to go. But just list the teams and then we're gonna go to the next person. Then Chris, then me, then we'll discuss different records and how we came to different conclusions and go to that.
Got you. So I'm gonna start from last to who's winning winning the division. So I got Miami in last place. I got them going 3-13. I got the Jets with the same record at 3-13. I got the Patriots at 11-5. And I got the Bills at 11-5.
Go, Gummer.
You said the Patriots, right?
Yeah. So there's the Patriots.
It's going to be the LeBron factor for me. I'm going to pick the Patriots. I ain't worried about nobody else in the division until somebody show me otherwise.
Who you think gonna be second in the AFC East?
Miami. Then the Bills and the Jets. I don't got no records, you guys. I'm just going off past experiences.
Do you, man? Now, Biv, who you got?
I got Buffalo winning the division at 9-7.
Whoa.
Disrespectful.
At 9-7. I got the Bills winning it. I got New England finishing at 8-8. I got Miami finishing third at 5-11, and I got the Jets pulling up the rear at 4-12.
Okay, so I got the Patriots winning the division at 10-6. I got the Jets at 7-9. I got the Bills in third, 5-11, and the Dolphins 4-12. I think the most interesting out of what has been said, I would say, is Dwayne talking about the Bills winning the division at 9-7.
I agree.
Yeah, yes, sir.
What's happening there, man? Tell me how that's gonna happen.
I think the Patriots are going to be a train wreck. To be honest with you, if you look at their schedule too, you look at their first three games are home versus Houston. So this is going to be their first look at Deshaun Watson. They go to Jacksonville and then to Detroit. They could easily start 0-3, and they're a slow starting team anyway. Like, they don't come out of the gates firing on all cylinders. And then you look at the back end of their schedule with Minnesota, at Miami, and then at Pittsburgh. Like that's another tough stretch to where I think they could lose this game they can lose 4 to 5 of those games, with 4 of them being on the road, and Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Houston, Jacksonville, and Detroit. I think all 5 of those teams are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. So,
But have you?
that's where I find
the Bills.
How about what?
The Bills schedule is where they. Let me see. The Bills got to play. Who? They got to play. They got to start at Baltimore, and then the Chargers, and then the Vikings, and then the Packers. And those are both away. So you're starting the season 3 out of 4 of the games on the road with a rookie quarterback.
And I got them losing all 3 of those games.
And still make the playoffs?
I still have them winning the division. So yes, they make the playoffs.
And it doesn't work for me.
Speak on it, Dom. You got anything to add, Chris? Anybody?
Listen, I was waiting. I agree. The Bills win the division. The record. Listen, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the record. It's a shocker to me. Like the Pats, I understand. I wouldn't be shocked if they went 8-8. I'll say that. Just off of everything that they're going, the turmoil. I really don't see a lot of playmakers. They just released Jordan Matthews. Eric Decker just got injured. Just retired. They got 4. Julian Edelman is suspended for 4 games. They got Gronk and Danny Amendola and James White. I really just don't see the weapons that New England has, and they're not as good defensively as they were in the past. Tom Brady 41. So that's why I put them not winning the division. I actually got them missing the playoffs. And the Bills winning the division 11-5. And the reason I got the Bills winning that division is I just think that they got some momentum going into off of last year. I know Tyrod is out. I think Josh Allen is actually the quarterback that they need to play in that tough weather. They got Shady, and defensively they're solid. Defensively they're nasty, man. And I think that Tre'Davious White, Edmonds, some safeties, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and they got Vontae Davis coming off an injury, so he got something to prove. I just think that it's their division. Somebody has to. The Pats won't be good forever, and I think that why not now? Tom Brady's 41. He's been playing at a high level for a long time, and I get it. You can't count him out until proven otherwise, but he's 41, man, and I think that he got to fall off sometime, man. And I think that his time is now. Plus, I don't think him and Bill Belichick are seeing eye to eye.
So, do y'all trust Josh Allen as a rookie to take this team to the same point as Tyrod did last year?
Here's my thing with that, right? It's not like how it was back in old times, man. Rookies is coming in more prepared, more than ever. I think Deshaun Watson would have took his team to the playoffs last year if he didn't get hurt. Carson Wentz would have took his team to the playoffs if we have suspensions and receivers didn't drop the ball. Like Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, they took their team to the playoffs. I think that rookies are coming in more prepared every year. So yeah, I believe in Josh Allen. I believe he can do it.
I personally think it's about their I think it's their defense and their running game. Like I think he can. All he has to be is a game manager and not turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. You know, like just manage the game and don't be the reason that they lose. Now, where me and Dom agree with this on on the Bills winning to be the statistically on the records. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Buffalo winning 11 games to win that division personally, but I do believe that they win the division because I think they have the best defense in the division, and they can rely on the running game.
Now I can definitely understand that with the running game, especially Shady, and now they got Chris Ivory as well to back him up. They can definitely heavily rely on that and win some games. What about? I think that we all had the Jets at the bottom half of the division. There's another rookie, Sam Darnold, that'll be playing. That his first 4 games on the road. I mean, his first 4 games in the league, 3 of them is on the road, and 1 of them against Jacksonville. Will they? You think they'll show to be better than they were last year? I mean, because schedule-wise, it'll look like. I mean, their record might not show it, but at the same time, like, it's because of the teams that they're playing. Like, you're gonna have to play Green Bay. You got to play Minnesota. Now you got to play Jacksonville on the road. You got to play the Patriots twice. So it may not look like record-wise that they might be better, but do y'all think that they'll actually be better with Sam Darnold? Speak on it.
I don't think they'll be better. I don't think they upgraded around him. Like, who's their number 1 receiver?
It'll be the same.
Robbie Anderson?
It'll be the same team though that Josh McCown had last year, pretty much, right?
Not necessarily. Last year, Josh McCown he did have Robbie Anderson, but they also had a go-to guy in Austin Seferian-Jenkins who bailed them out in a lot of ways where he's not there no more. Austin Seferian-Jenkins isn't there anymore. And defensively, they were solid last year, but they got rid of a lot of players defensively this year. So I really don't see them being better with Josh Allen. I mean, with Sam Darnold. I think that he has a rookie's best friend is a good tight end, a good running game, and a good defense. And I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that in New York.
What you think, Gummer? Chris?
Again, against Tom Brady and Belichick in that division. No one showed me last year that they're about to make this incredible league. I don't think it's going to happen. I think at the halfway mark, the Patriots turn it on, get into the playoffs, like barely get into the playoffs, but once they're in there, they're in there.
All right. So overall, I know the last podcast, Dom had his mock draft going, and had Dom had the Dolphins picking number 1. I think that the sentiments is pretty much the same all around, except for Chris. Chris did have the Dolphins in second place. He didn't say he had records, but second place in the AFC East could be 9-7, 7-9. But does Adam Gase get fired? Does Ryan Tannehill continue to be the quarterback there? Speak on it.
I think Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gates. This is both their last year in Miami. I think that you can't get rid of all your talent and then have a losing record. Think that you're and Ryan's too inconsistent for me. If they get picked where I say they're going to pick, which is going to be number 1 overall pick, I think that when they picking that high, they have to go with a quarterback. They have to make a change. and I think that they're both their fates are tied to one another.
Speak on it, Biv.
I'm gonna double down on that. And I mean, I don't see where they upgraded other than with drafting Minka Fitzpatrick out of Alabama. Like other than that, you lose Adama Sue, you know, that speaks for itself. Then they lost Nate Allen, Lawrence Timmons. Like they lost a lot on defense. They added some things on defense as well, but who knows exactly what it's gonna come down to. Kenyon Drake looks the part. We don't know if he's gonna be the typical Nick Saban running back. We were talking about that before. But other than that, like there's no bright spots on this team. Ryan Tannehill took him to the playoffs a couple of years ago, or had him in playoff contention a couple of years ago, at least. So anything's possible, but I do not see Tannehill and Gase surviving this season.
And to just to piggyback off of what he just said, personally, I don't think Tannehill took them to the playoffs. I think it was Jay Ajayi. He was the catalyst that put them in the playoffs, running the ball. So I gotta see it. I have to see it from Ryan Tannehill. I think he's shown flashes, but to me, he's just too inconsistent. And we can't say he don't got the talent. Man, he got weapons. He had Jarvis Landry. He got the Parker, Kennedy Steele. So the weapons are there. He's got to put it all together.
Speak on it, Chris. About your Dolphins in second place.
I mean, this is just like, how can I put it? I don't think the Dolphins going to do good. I just think they're going to do better than the other two teams. That's not the Patriots.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be too well actually. But if I do process elimination and put them in a chronological order, I would have to go with them that second because they have more talent than everybody else. That's for sure. To me.
So we're gonna conclude that. I think pretty much you had them in the you had them winning the division. The Patriots, Dom. You had the Patriots winning the division.
No, the Bills winning the division.
Okay, so it's split 2-2. I got the Patriots. Chris got the Patriots. Dom and Biv have the Bills coming out of the AFC East. So let's go to the AFC North. AFC North. I'll speak on it first. I have the Steelers winning the division. I have them winning at 11-5. I got the Ravens. No, I got the Browns. Sorry, in second with 8-8. I got the Ravens at 7-9, and I got the Bengals at 6-10. Go ahead, speak on it.
I got the Browns winning the division at 10-6.
Ooh, so they they go from 0 to 10.
They go from 0 to 10, like what they did this offseason. We'll get into that after I finish. I got Pittsburgh at 9-7. I got Baltimore at 8-8, and I got Cincinnati at 5-11.
Chris, you want to go? Let Chris go, and then
Cincinnati, the Ravens 8-8, the Steelers 11-5, and the Browns 11-5.
Oh, can you repeat that? It was no, it literally was like static. Go. Can you repeat this over again, Dom?
AFC North, Bengals 7, Ravens 8-8, Steelers 11-5, and the Browns 11-5.
Okay, I was just making sure I heard that Browns 11-5 correctly. Okay, Chris, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got the Steelers 11-5, the Ravens 9-7, the Browns 7-9, and what was the last team? Hold on.
The Bengals.
Oh, the Bengals. Man, they going 6-10. Man, they suck.
All right, so I need y'all to go first. That put the Browns in double-digit wins, either or.
I go first. So I don't think the Browns was devoid of talent. Last year, I think you had Tyrod Taylor, who does not turn the ball over, and that automatically gets you. Listen, I would say the Browns is a more talented team than the Bills team. He put them in the playoffs last year at 9-7. You give him Josh Allen, Josh Gordon, you give him Landry, you give him Carlos Hyde, who is not Shane McCoy, but you give him a solid offensive line. Is solid. You give him a David Njoku, and he's just going to. And I didn't even talk about them on the defensive side. To me, I think the Browns have one of the most athletic linebackers out there. With my man Christian Kersley, Joe Sherman, who was a Pro Bowler last year, and they get Jamie Collins, a healthy Jamie Collins back this year. With my man Myles Garrett, who's going solid again this year. I think it's going to be solid. Jabril Peppers, and listen. Just look at
You breaking up.
Champ. You hear me?
You breaking up.
Hello?
Yeah.
You hear me, Tamai?
I can hear you now.
Is Tamon still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Did you get my part? Or did
Well, the Browns, for me,
we'll just say we got
the
your
Browns.
point.
Okay.
No. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, the Browns last year hit the 7th ranked rush defense. So they were solid defensively. They had the 14th ranked defense in the league. Where they were lacking was offensively. And you add Tyrod Taylor, who's a pro, he's got a track record. He's solid. He's not gonna wow you with his, with his numbers. His numbers ain't gonna jump off the page to you, but he takes care of business. If Josh Gordon is the Josh Gordon of old with injury, the passing attack should be really, really good. You throw in Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson. They drafted Nick Chubb out of Georgia as well. I mean, the talent isn't going to be the problem. And I believe in Hugh Jackson. So I think they're going to make that leap. I think the other teams in the division, I think Pittsburgh, their window is closed on winning the championship with those guys. I think they take a step back. I don't think Baltimore is ready. And I just don't believe in Marvin Lewis. So I'm going to go with the Browns. They seem to be the hot team to me in the AFC North, and they have to have the best overall talent on the roster in the division.
Now, y'all do know that they are playing against the NFC South, right?
Yeah, I got the
Dude,
schedule pulled up
I
right
got the schedule right in front of me.
Okay, and they got to play the Steelers
now.
twice
So I'll say,
And they got to play the Steelers twice.
So I said
And,
that-
and the Chargers.
I said,
and the Chargers at home.
So I give you my 5 losses that they get. 1 to the Chargers,
Okay.
1 to the Saints, Texans, 1 to the Steelers. That's 4, and the Ravens.
You think the Browns will beat
I got
the
them
Falcons?
losing.
Yes, in Cleveland. Yes.
Okay, go. What you was about to say, Ben?
I got their 6 losses that I got. I got them losing at New Orleans. I got them losing at Oakland, at Pittsburgh, at Houston, at Cincinnati, and at Denver. I don't see them losing a home game.
Okay, I'm gonna speak I understand the talent is there. I get it. Everything is new now. Josh Gordon might be back to who he was. You got Jarvis Landry. I get it. Defense is solid and whatnot, but I don't think that in this day and age that I could see a team, even with a whole new facelift, coming together and gelling that fast to win 10+ games. They're going to be very
But it's
competitive.
not a whole new team. It's not a whole new team though.
It is. You got a new quarterback. You got a brand new slot wide receiver. You got a brand new running back. How is that not a new team?
Defensively, dude. Defensively, they're the same. Defensively, they're the same. Again, they're not gonna be no offensive juggernaut and go out and blow out teams. They're gonna win low scoring defensive football games. Control their offensive line is solid. They're gonna run the football. Tyrod's not gonna turn the ball over, and their defense is gonna be top 10. They're gonna have a top 10 defense.
In the first
I'm not saying that
weeks,
the offense.
in the first 8 weeks, they got to play Big Ben twice in New Orleans and Phillip Rivers, and then
Okay.
and Matt Ryan. Like
Okay.
these are top tier quarterbacks, are they not?
So that's what I'll say to you. The only one that is consistent that you named, but I'll give you 2 that's consistent that you named, is Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. Big Ben is up and down. He will lose a game for you. Matt Ryan will lose a game for you. And listen, I don't know what Atlanta will get. I don't know what Big Ben will get. Defensively, the Steelers are terrible. And like I said, I got them losing to the Chargers, but I don't think that that the Steelers are good defensively, and they played them tough last year twice with DeShone Kaiser.
Okay, so let's talk about the Steelers then. I have them winning. I have them winning the division and actually being the number 1 seed in the playoffs. And I just say that I would say it's based off of I guess strength of schedule or winning a division. However, because I do have 2 teams having 11-5, and one being the Steelers. I think that if Le'Veon does miss a game, it does hurt. But Le'Veon still, I think he's going to play, and I think that they'll win shootouts. I think a lot of their games would be 33-27, 34-28. But I think that their window, they know that this is like the last year, really, that you're gonna have the triple Bs really in their prime, ready to go, and this is their shot. Like we said, the Patriots is on the ropes, and the Steelers' window is this big because it's pretty much sealed that unless they give Le'Veon something crazy, which they haven't agreed to in the past 2.5 years, that he's gone. So that's why I got them where they're at. Y'all, it seems like y'all differ on that opinion, having them tied for second. Speak on it.
Well, for me, I looked at their schedule. Their bye week is week 7. Coming off their bye week, they get Cleveland at home, at Baltimore, home for Carolina, at Jacksonville, at Denver, and then the Chargers at home. Like that stretch will determine whether or not they win or lose the division. That is a tough stretch against what 6 really good, hard-hitting defenses. The quarterbacks on those teams, other than really Cam Newton, isn't a threat. But their defenses of all of those teams are really solid. And I got Pittsburgh in the playoffs as a wild card. I just don't have them winning the division. And I just think all of the letdown, the last few years, I just think it's taking a toll on them. I just think it's the window's closed, man. The window's closed. The time has come and gone with this group.
Speak on it, Dom.
So looking at the schedule, I got them starting out of the gate 0-2. That's against Cleveland, and then it's against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs beat them in a shootout. Steelers, Bucks. They got the Falcons. To me, they start out 2-3. I do got them. Like I said, I do got them in the playoffs at 11-5. But I think that they're gonna get off to a slow start, which sometimes they usually do get off to a slow start. And I think age, Big Ben taking on a lot of hits. Le'Veon not really wanting to play. I'm not saying we don't want to play, but he's going to play under the franchise again. Not having that new contract, I think that kind of hurts him because he doesn't know. I don't think he's going to give his all. That's just me. I think Todd Haley was a good play caller. I just think they got a new coordinator, so I don't know how that's going to work out. Jacksonville's tough to them. That's a loss I have for them. They got the Panthers. That's another tough game. The Chargers. That's another tough game. I just think that they tie in the division 11-5. But I think the Browns. I think the Browns actually only have one loss in the division.
And that will be against the Steelers at Pittsburgh, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yep.
Chris, you all right? What's your take on the AFC North? Chris, you there? You still folding clothes? That man getting his J. Cole on, man. All right, so I don't know if he.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's your take on the AFC North?
I said I just think that experience is going to carry the Steelers through this season. But I'm also kind of worried because did Big Ben have a concussion or a slight concussion in preseason?
Yeah, I think he just got tired.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's true, they go as far as Bengals goes. So that's the only thing I think that's stopping them. I think they want to get that seventh ring for Pittsburgh. And I mean, the Browns look good, but man, they was horrible last year. I don't think they just want to turn that light switch on this year. Me personally, yeah. I mean, I don't got too much to say about the division. I just think that the experience from the Steelers is going to carry them above everybody else in that division.
Now it looks like we all have the Ravens in the middle of that division as well, either at the middle or at the bottom. So I think the best record that we gave was probably Bev with 8-8 with the Ravens.
Can I say something real quick about the Steelers before we move forward?
Go ahead. Speak your piece on the Steelers.
I'm looking at their schedule again, man, and I'm gonna change the. I'm gonna put them at 9-7.
Oh man, he so 9-7. Are they making the playoffs then?
No, Patriots. Looking at that schedule again, man, that's tough. And actually, this is what I'll say. I'll say the winner in the Pats Steelers game make the playoffs.
The Pats Steelers game?
That's gonna be the deciding factor. That's going to either put the Steelers at 10-6 and the Pats at 10-6, or the Pats at 11-5 and the Steelers at 9-7. This Steelers schedule is tough, bro. This thing is tough.
Well, the good thing about it is that everybody in the AFC North has that same schedule, just depending on where they play the teams at, pretty much, except for I think 2 games. But the Ravens,
the Browns don't play the Patriots.
Yeah. Because I know in the conference, I think they play the first place team from last year plays the other first place team from the year before or something like that. But Dom,
That's you.
Yeah, you had the Ravens at 7-9.
Not 8-8.
8-8. So both you and Ben had them 8-8. So does that mean the Ravens end the season with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback?
I don't. I think yes. I think so. I think with Lamar Jackson. I just think Joe Flacco is going to be that bad. And I know it says RG3 is the third quarterback right now. And I don't see him helping winning games. So I think you have to put Lamar Jackson in there.
Speak on it, Bev.
Their schedule doesn't line up well for Joe Flacco. You look at their schedule, 4 of their first 6 games are on the road, and they're notorious for playing porous on the road. At Cincinnati, at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland, and at Tennessee. In the first 6 weeks, I say by week 7 or 8, you're going to start hearing about the rumblings that they want Lamar Jackson, and they'll probably wait until after the bye week in week 10 to start him. So he'll probably start in week 11 versus Cincinnati at home.
And Chris, what you got to say about the Ravens?
I agree with Bev on this one. I think he hit it right on the nose. I think that's exactly how they're going to fare out. I agree with you, bro.
And I think that we all can agree that the Ravens is probably going to be mediocre and that Lamar Jackson will end the season as the quarterback. And who knows about Harbaugh's future there in Baltimore. Maybe one more year, I guess. I don't know. But it looks like Marvin Lewis, from everybody, is still under 500 and still will be signed a 1 more year under his contract, and the Bengals will be the Bungles still. Um, quickly, does Marvin keep his job? Speak on it.
Why does he have a job?
He has a no fire contract. He fired unless he leaves on his own. On his own, he can't be traded unless he proves.
So then, what
Contract
happens?
on him.
So what happens then to AJ Green? Like, does he just disappear in the night?
No, I think AJ Green's still a solid, still top 7 wide receiver. I do think this is Andy Dalton's last year in Cincinnati.
You want one last take before we go to the next division, Biv, on the Bungles? I mean the Bengals.
I think they're gonna be really good offensively, man. I like Joe Mixon. AJ Green still a stud. Tyler Eifert, Kofi. He was the top 10 tight end.
John Ross looks healthy.
I care less about John Wall.
Just
I like
throwing
the
it out
defense. The defense is I just don't like Marvin Lewis. I just don't trust him. Like, and he's not gonna be fired. I think he got like a no fire clause in his contract. I don't know how he has a job still. Be honest with you.
So on that note, Chris, you got something to say about the Bengals?
No, I don't. They're not worth me talking about.
Okay, so on that note, we conclude that the Bengals will be at the bottom of the division, and Marvin Lewis will be coaching until 2092. On that note, we're going to go to the AFC South. I have the Texans at 11-5, winning that division. I have the Jaguars at 10-6, making the wild card. I have the Titans at 8-8, and I have the Colts at 5-11. The Colts don't have anybody on defense worth mentioning. No disrespect to anybody that's playing in the league, but I mean, there's no really elite talent on that side. I don't really know who's running the ball, so it's really on Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, and that's really dependent on the health of Andrew Luck. The Titans, I think that they're a solid team, but I think that the two teams above them are a lot better, so they have the unfortunate result of having to play both the Jaguars and the Texans twice, which hurt them. So I think that they'll go 8-8. The Jaguars, I still will not put my trust in Blake Bortles. I will put my trust in that defense, but I will not put my trust in Blake Bortles. He has flashes, but especially with Marquise Lee going down, he's going to have to rely on some more young talent. Keelan Cole, he emerged last year. Also, you got that grown man in the backfield that you can rely on as well. I trust him. Hopefully, he's healthy for all 16 games. And the Texans, I have them winning the division. I think that if Deshaun Watson is healthy, with DeAndre Hopkins, with Will Fuller, with Lamar Miller, Deontay Foreman, Alfred Blue running the ball, their defense, if JJ and Clowney is healthy, them and the Chargers I have as the best rush edgers together on one team. They picked up the Honey Badger, which helps out their secondary as well, and their linebacking core is pretty solid. So I have them winning that division. Speak on it, fellas. The AFC South.
All right, I go. So I got Titans 9 and Colts 5-11, Titans 9-7, Texans 10-6, and I got the Jags at 11-5. I can break them down. So I got the Colts again, like you said, nobody worth mentioning. It's T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck. You have no really other threats. No running game. They got Quentin Nelson, but other than that, nobody on the offensive line to talk about. Defensively, they got Malik Hooker. That's about it. That is where it stops. Nobody else worth mentioning. So we won't talk about the Colts
Now,
anymore.
hold on. I'm gonna give myself one because Malik is from what school? The safety. He's from what school?
So Malik Hooker.
Yeah, he's from Ohio State. So the reason why I didn't mention him is because I'm a Michigan fan. So on that note, let me go ahead and get it going.
Bias alert, bias alert. It's a bias alert, bias alert.
Continue, Dom.
So, Titans, 9-7. I think the Titans are solid, man. It's really up to Marcus Mariota. That's where it all boils down to, man. I think he's up and down. One year he looked like one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. The next year he just looked terrible. And they're winning despite of him. I also think it's going to be dependent on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry this is going to be his first year where he's carrying the load. And I mean, you got to third down back in Deion Lewis, but Derrick Henry, for the most part, is the guy. There is no vet. He is the guy there when he's carrying the load. Can Corey Davis be that guy on the outside? They gave Delaney Walker the money. The offensive line is solid. Defensively, Malcolm Butler, Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan. They're solid defensively, man. It's going to come down to Marcus Mariota, and I think that Marcus Mariota has to show me something. So that's why I got them at 9-7. I don't think that he's ahead of the Texans, which was tough for me because defensively, without a quarterback, they can get 9. They can be 9-7 without a quarterback. Add Deshaun Watson in there, the best wide receiver in the league, and my man D Hop, a speedster, and Will Fuller, and they solid, man. I just can't put them over the Jags and what they do, man. Defensively, the Jags is nasty, man. Them two corners is nasty, safeties is nasty. Defensively, they ain't got no weakness. I'll say that. Defensively, they have no weakness. Offensively, they added to that offensive line. They got the grown man in the backfield. Things, and they added to that offensive line. I know they lost Marquise Lee, but I think that's a blessing in disguise because they add a wide receiver who can take the top off now. They add Austin Jenkins. I just think they loaded, so that's why I got the Jags winning that division because they loaded, man.
Speak on it, Biv.
I got the Jags winning the division. I got that defense being just way too much with that running game. I actually believe in Blake Bortles. I got him going 13-3.
Whoa.
I got the Texans at 11-5.
Oh,
what?
13.
Yeah, I said the same thing, man. I said the same thing. I mean, they're the number one seed they got them in the number one seed in the AFC. But listen, go ahead, finish it. Finish.
I got the Texans at 11-5. And I got both the Colts and the Titans at 7-9. The Titans, I think the front end of their schedule is absolutely brutal. After they open it up at Miami, but after that they get Houston, at Jacksonville, Philly, at Buffalo, Baltimore at home, and then they go to the Chargers. Like, that's a lot to ask of Mariota. That's gonna be.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
By the way,
But
that's James
As far as
coming in
Jacksonville go,
late.
Yo, Don, why your face look like that, bro?
Yo, he came in.
My bad,
clowning
I'm sorry.
man, yo.
I'm sorry. I'm like a disruptive kid student in class. My bad. I'm gonna mute myself.
Go ahead, Biff.
and I just think that that the Jags defense is just too strong with the running game. And again, I believe in Blake Bortles. That's why I got him at 13-3.
Well, they're gonna get that first loss in week 1. Week 1, they lose, and they're gonna be 0-1 against the Giants in week 1.
This man ain't even been in 3 minutes, and we got to give him that, man.
Bias alert, bias alert. It's a bias alert, bias alert.
That man already start with that giant love, man.
I'm just speaking, man. It's reality. It's gonna happen. We're gonna shock the world.
All right, so now you got. So do you have both the Texans and the Jags in the playoffs?
Yeah, I got Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Okay, so your number 2 team must be coming out the West. Would that be correct? No. Yeah. Yeah. No. Or the Browns are the 2 seed.
Let's bro.
Huh?
Let's finish. We still got a whole other division.
Yeah, so I want to know the NFC West, AFC West. I got the Chargers at 11-5 at 2 seed, with nobody else having a winning record in that division. Got the Chiefs at 7-9, the Raiders at 6-10, and the Broncos at 5-11. Now, I think the Chargers probably got one of the better defenses in the entire league. So, in a weak AFC West, I think they're going to win all their division games. And granted, with the Chiefs, I like the quarterback. I like Mahomes, but I think he's Brett Favre-esque to where he's going to have a lot of interceptions and a lot of touchdowns, which is going to hurt him. And them losing Marcus Peters, that was big, secondary wise. I'm excited to see what Eric Berry's going to look like coming back from injury. But all in all, I don't think defensively that they're going to be able to make too much noise. The Raiders, I see what they're doing. I don't know if they're trying to pull the Philadelphia 76ers and tank by trading my man Khalil Mack. I guess that's what it is. They released Martavius Bryant, which he more likely could be suspended for a whole year. I don't know really what's going on over there in Oakland, soon to be Las Vegas, and Denver. I just think that they're the. Not saying that Case Keenum is not the answer. He's a decent quarterback, but they got to figure out a lot because Demaryius Thomas is getting older. Emmanuel Sanders is getting older. They did draft Sutton. but they really don't know who they want to play at running back. They drafted Booker. They really don't know how he's going to turn out. And Freeman has gotten the majority of the carries in the preseason. Defensively, their whole secondary seems to be gone except for Chris Harris Jr. They still have Von Miller, but I just don't have faith in what they got going on. AFC West, speak on it.
So my AFC, Biv, you can go, Biv, if you want.
Okay. I got the Chargers winning the division at 11-5. I got the Chiefs at 9-7. I got Denver at 6-10, and I got the Raiders at 5-11. The Raiders they were really bad a year ago, and when you trade the best defensive player, I guess the only way to go is further down. I do like what they got offensively though. Like, you still got beast mode. I still like Amari Cooper. I still like Derek Carr. They added Jordy. So I think offensively, they're going to be defensively. They have absolutely nothing. I think the Chiefs are going to be really good offensively. I'm not sure how good they'll be defensively. I think Mahomes is going to be pretty good. Like you said, Brett Favre. Denver, I just don't trust their offense. I don't care who's playing that quarterback. It's like Demarius Thomas is just wasting away in Denver now. Von Miller in the defense, they'll still be able to get after the quarterback. Offensively, struggle. And the Chargers, I think they have one of the best defenses in the entire league. And I think Phillip Rivers put him on his back and carry him to the playoff.
I got the Raiders absolutely sucking. The only reason I
You said, hold. I could barely hear you. What you say?
The only reason I gave
Yeah, I can hear
my
you.
kids on me, babe. I don't have them. Look over there. Yeah, look for them. Over there.
Yeah, so I think I have Raiders at 6-10, just based on their coach, Amari Cooper. They got rid of Martinez. I think it would be defensive. They have nobody. Nobody worth mentioning. Nobody. They got Carl Joseph. That might be worth mentioning. That's it. I got 7-9. Defensively, I don't see what I think they're. I think I'm sorry. Offensively, I think they're terrible. Defensively, they're solid, but I just don't see them winning any games. The Chiefs, I actually like a lot. I like the Chiefs at 10-6. Like you said, Mahomes solid, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, solid offensive line. Offensively, they're solid. Defensively, they still got Some good players. They got Chris Jones, Justin Houston, D Ford, Eric Berry. So I think they're solid. But I think that, and I think they'll actually make a push for the playoffs. For the Chargers, that's my team right there, man. 12-4. It's Phillip Rivers time. Time to shine. They got wide receivers for days, corners for days. One of the best defensive teams in the NFL. They're just solid all around. They're one of the most complete teams in the NFL. So I got the Chargers at 12-4.
So James, speak on it. The AFC West.
I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning it. I think it's gonna be a close race. I think it's gonna be the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs gonna be either 11-5 or 10-6. I think they're gonna probably beat the Chargers by one game. I think it's gonna come down to the last few weeks of the season. I still like the Chiefs. I think the Chargers, their issue is always injuries. You know, they lost Jason Verrett, cornerback already. It seemed like every year someone gets hurt. So I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning it. Chargers, and then it don't even matter. Denver and the Raiders will be fighting in it. They'll be fighting. They're gonna be fighting in the basement. Denver and the Browns will be fighting for the basement.
So Chris, what's your take on the AFC West? Speak on it.
On what?
The AFC West with the Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers.
That's a good division. Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs. Man, I don't know. That's a good question. Just go ahead and skip me for this one. I'll get back to you. Let me think about it.
Well,
I'm sorry. Did y'all do the NFC East already?
No, we
do
haven't got to the
NFC
NFC yet. It'll be a lot of bias on that. I already know.
Actually, I wasn't going to say the Giants were going to win it. I was going to say the Eagles were going to win it. The Giants going to win a play. They'll make it to the What happened?
Yeah, wait till we get there. Chris said he wanted to skip the AFC West.
We not in the NFC.
No, we about to jump over to the NFC. Chris said he wants to skip the AFC West. It's tough for him, but it looks like three of us have the Chargers. One has the Chiefs. The other one is undecided. But it looks like the bottom half is pretty much everybody's concluding that the Raiders and the Broncos are going to be looking up. So let's go to the NFC, which I think all but one here tonight has a team in the NFC race. I could be real biased and be like, yo, let's start off with the NFC West, but I'm not going to do that. Let's start with the NFC East. NFC East, I'm going to go the Eagles at 11. What happened?
I said, so that's right off the gate.
It's alphabetical order. E comes before everything else. So NFC East, I got the Eagles at 11-5. I got the Giants at 8-8. I got the Redskins at 5-11, and I got the Cowboys at 4-12. I'm gonna go up. The Cowboys, they got rid of their best player. What more? I ain't gonna say their best player. Their second best player, and with Frederick out for who knows how long, that offensive line is gonna have to see a whole lot of 8-man fronts because they're going to wonder if Dak can actually win a game with his arm, and throwing it to Beasley and Michael Gallup and no Jason Witten. I don't see that producing 17 or more points a game. I got the Redskins at 5-11. I just think that Alex Smith is a decent quarterback, but I mean now they done got Adrian Peterson running the rock. Who knows if he's going to start or not? Wide receiver, we're still waiting on Josh Dotson to be what he was supposed to be. Got Jordan Reed, who's always hurt half of the season. Defensively, they still got Ryan Kerrigan. They're pretty solid on D, but at the same time, I think that division is just tough in itself. I have the Giants 8-8. I just think that Eli has Eli-esque moments at times, and I think that'll be better than last year. But at the same time, I think that it'll be one more year before they actually really want to compete if they want to make a couple moves. And the Eagles, I really think that the Eagles' talent overall is the best in that division, if not the best in the league. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not going to go that far. But I just think that what could come down to them seed-wise is the Thursday night game against the Falcons. I know that some may say that that's not a big game, but I think that if you're vying for the 2 seed between the NFC South, which we'll get to that, and the Eagles, that game might be big. But speak on it. NFC East. Let me get my bias alert button ready. Go ahead, Dom. What are they going 14-2?
So I got the Cowboys 5-11. Got the Cowboys. Like 8-9.
You breaking up? You breaking up?
Receiver. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. So, I think that is anti and they are they're often so I think that's going to play. I don't think Zeke's going to have a year healthy. Big year. If they're not healthy, they don't have a defense to carry them. So I think that they are the worst. I think 10. The offensive line is good, even with the addition of Nick Spurgeon. But they lost like 2/3 of that. They lost like the line. I know they got Odell back. They got Saquon. Offensively, they're solid, but the offensive line is terrible. Defensively, but they're switching over to a 3-4. I just don't know how that looks. Their personnel. Linebacker, of course. I understand they got Alex Overtree and everything, but I don't see the pass rushers are. And I don't see other corner. I mean, Eli Apple. I think I had a year also too. Winning a lot of games. It might be entertaining, but it may lose shootouts. Redskins, I got them 9-7. I think the addition of Alex Smith, I think actually that's addition by subtraction. I think and Eagles go 12-4.
Hold on, you said the Eagles go what?
12.
He said 12-4. So here it go.
Bias alert, bias alert. It's a bias alert, bias alert.
Go ahead, though.
It was 13-3 last year. So I actually the team that, but we get Jason Peters back. We get Dan Sproles back. We get Jordan Hicks back. Michael Bennett. We get Alshon Jeffries for another year. We get Aguilar. We get Dallas Goedert.
Hey, I just I just want everybody to hear the passion in his voice when he's speaking about this roster. But go ahead.
I'm Lee Green through and through, man. Listen, we Super Bowl games and we got better. There's no way. Like you said, we had the best. I think Jay is hungry to be that guy. Corey Clement is better in the system. We're in the system. I just think that we're better. The only thing that we fall off, I think, is with special teams. But I think we're one of the most elite teams in the NFL.
Yo, he broke it down to the special teams. That's how you know he is a dedicated Philadelphia Eagles fan. Can y'all hear me?
Listen, we just added a Pro Bowl. We just added a Pro Bowl special teamer to the team, man.
It just couldn't be a podcast without technical difficulties, could it? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Anybody else want to speak on it?
I'm gonna speak on it. Yeah, Giants win the NFCs, man. Straight like that.
Hold on, James. Hold on, here it goes.
Bias alert. It's a bias alert.
Now I feel like we're gonna shock the world, man. We're gonna shock the world. I'm gonna just with the division. We're gonna win the division. I want to go further than that. Say we're gonna go to the Super Bowl, but we're gonna slow down.
Okay,
we're gonna win the division.
That's another one.
Bias alert. It's a bias alert.
Listen. Our offense. Listen, I do question our defense, man, because that moving to a 3-4. But I think we're gonna work that thing out. We're gonna work it out. But we're gonna win.
So do the Eagles? So in your mind, does the Eagles make the playoffs?
Say it again.
Does the Eagles make it back to the playoffs?
Make it back where?
To the playoffs.
Super Bowl?
No, playoffs.
Yeah, because they're gonna be two teams in the NFCs, and the Cowboys and Redskins not. So it'll be the Giants and the Eagles. Giants, Eagles, and coming out of the NFCs.
Boy, there's a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue love over there.
Yeah.
But think about it. We have offensive. We got injured last year. I don't even count last year. We got injured last year.
You got to.
All of our top guys got hurt last year. The defense gave up on McAdoo. See, last year didn't count. It's a lockout. To me, that's a lockout season. That's a lockout season.
Last year definitely did count. There's no taking that away.
It was a lockout season. As a 49er fan, y'all had plenty lockout seasons.
Hey, okay. We're not. All right. Then speak on it. NCE, speak on it.
I got the Eagles winning the division at 11-5. I do got the Giants in the playoffs as a wild card team at 10-6. I got the Cowboys going on 5-11, and I got the Redskins going 4-12. I do like Alex Smith, but I don't like his weapons. And then his best running back went down. I know Dallas. I don't know who Dak is throwing the ball to in Dallas. Like I really just don't know who's throwing the ball. So since Zeke they trust, I like the Giants, man. Like I think Eli got one more run in him.
Thank you.
And I think they'll have some problems early on with the switching over to the 3-4, but I think they'll get it together. I still think that I know Landon Collins is the best safety in football. And
don't it remind you so much
Eagles,
of Sean Taylor, man?
Huh?
I said, don't it remind
What
you
is
so
that?
much of Sean Taylor, man?
Yo, Landon Collins is the truth, man. And the Eagles, it's just way too much talent on that team. And then their best quarterback ain't even gonna play until really they probably need him or want him to play, and they'll still be fine with Nick Foles. So the Eagles, they'll win the division, even with their number one receiver and their quarterback out for probably the first 3 to 4 weeks.
Hey, let Dom tell it. Nate Sudfeld is the second best quarterback on that roster.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Nate Sudfeld should be starting instead of Nick Foles on Thursday. So it looks.
I don't think he should start with. I don't think he should start having fun with Nick on Thursday because Nick won the Super Bowl, and on Thursday, the city gonna be on fire when he come out.
Well, you heard it here first from the unbiased Philadelphia Eagles fans.
They losing. They gonna lose week 1. I'm just sorry. They're losing week 1 against the Falcons. And that's because they don't.
Eli Manning will lead the league in turnovers.
Oh, that felt passion.
Yeah.
That was that. I don't think that came from the head. I think that was just a comeback.
Nope. Yeah, there was. It was bitterness.
No comeback. That wasn't a bitterness. I think he do. Eli Manning has led the league 3 times in turnovers. I think he do. He passed due.
Passed due. Okay.
Do.
So
Odell just got that big contract. He's gonna try. Evan Ingram is one of his mother weapons. He tries to put that thing over there. Just think Eli will lead the league turnovers. And that offensive line terrible. You know.
They're gonna spread that ball around. And that Sherman offense, they're gonna spread that ball around. They're not gonna focus on Odell. Watch. Mark my words.
So this is what we
It's
can
not about
agree.
Sherman. It's about what Eli do.
This is what we can agree on. We can agree on that the Giants are going to be better. They're going to be at least 500 team, and the Eagles are going to the playoffs in all scenarios. So let's go to the NFC North. The NFC North, I got the Packers at 12-4. I got the Vikings at 10-6. I got the Lions at 7-9, and I got the Bears at 5-11. I go from the Bears. The Bears, I think a lot of people don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. We'll see. He's got a nice running game, and with the addition of Khalil Mack, you do have a presence on defense to help you out. But at the same time, I think with Matt Nagy, they'll need a couple more years to actually feel like they want to, compete in that division. The Lions, Matt Patricia, I think I have that defense better, but I just think that the other two teams on top of that division is a lot better talent-wise. I think Matt Stafford does need to have a better supporting cast, especially on the defensive end, and at running back. Hopefully, Kerryon Johnson fills in that role for them. Um, I think they'll actually be better, but record wise, they won't be from last year. I just think that their schedule is a little tougher this year. The Vikings I have at 10-6. I have them at 10-6 because I think that Kirk Cousins is an upgrade from what they had, but at the same time, I don't feel as though he's going to have the impact that people are going to think that they have that he's going to have, being as though that I think that Zimmer is probably going to more so rely heavily on Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray, and may see a slight in production from Stephon Diggs and Thielen, as well as Kyle Rudolph. But I still think that the defense is bar none the top unit of any of the three units of that franchise. And the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers is healthy. I like what they did draft wise in the secondary, and I think they got a steal in Josh Jackson. I think that that'll actually help them win some games besides relying on the arm of Aaron Rodgers. I also think that the addition of Jimmy Graham in the red zone is going to help as well. It actually helped their running game, being as though instead of third and goal, you can throw it up to Jimmy, or trying to run the ball with whoever you're trying to run the ball with. I would throw it up to Jimmy, just box out, and he can play like he did at Miami. But the NFC North, speak on it. Go ahead, Bev. Speak on it.
I got the Bears and the Lions finishing at 8-8. I like Matt Stafford, and that's about it. But I think his weapons around him, they're not while they're not elite, they're solid as far as his receivers, Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. I want to go higher with the Bears, but I don't like Mitch Trubisky. Like their defense was really good a year ago. Their defense, I think they had a top 10 defense last year. So adding Khalil Mack to that is just gonna make them even better. Getting Allen Robinson healthy gives weapon along with Trey Burton. So I think that can be really good if Trubisky takes the step forward that they need him to take. But I got him at 8-8 with him being underserving. So if he steps up, they could easily, in my opinion, be a 9-7, 10-6 team. I got Green Bay at 9-7. I don't trust anybody that's not on that team. I know you like their picks and in the defensive backfield, but other than that, I don't really see much from the Packers. Jimmy Graham,
Muhammad Wilkerson.
Again, I don't know what it is. They add guys, but it seems like they just don't fit into what they do in Green Bay. It's like they know they got 12 on the others coming on the field, and they don't have that same passion defensively, man. Like you look at it, they got names. They got names, but they've always had names, So it's like they got to produce. I mean, like Clinton Dix. I like Clinton Williams, but they don't produce all the time. And Minnesota, what they win 14 games last year?
13.
13.
I think so. So I think they won They're gonna win again. They're gonna win 14 this year. I think Kirk Cousins them over the top. They can open up that offense completely with the weapons that they have. Dalvin Cook is really good in the football with Root Thielen, with Diggs. They're gonna be really, really, really good. And then, of course, there's probably the second best defense in the league behind Jacksonville. Harrison Smith, in my opinion, is right behind Landon as a top safety in the league. Xavier Rose, like they added Trey Wayans, like team takes the step, and they got a bad taste in their, you know what I mean? And I think they're gonna be hungry and ready to go. And I think they're just gonna be start to finish.
So you think that they're just to be hold on, Dom. I just want to ask him one question. Just to, you think they're gonna lose the first game and then just like go on a run?
No, I think they're gonna win the first game.
No, they're gonna lose the first game. But
I think they're gonna. You hope they lose the first game because that's probably gonna be the difference between your boys playoffs or not.
Let me give myself a bias alert.
Bias alert. It's a bias alert. Bias alert.
That's for myself. But
give yourself a bias
alert. So who plays the Vikings in week 1? The 49ers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna get ugly real quick.
All right.
Real
James,
quick. I'm sorry.
Hey man. All right. Go ahead, Dom.
So, real quick, the Vikings got a number 2 defense. It's surely that second half and the whole game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, really? Come on,
bias
alert. Bias alert. It's a bias alert. Bias alert.
I'm just saying. Listen, again, not biased if it's fact.
I didn't know the Eagles was
Factual.
I didn't know
It's
the
facts.
Eagles was in the NFC
But anyway,
North.
Didn't the Eagles have a pretty good defense? Look, that defense didn't look great either against the Patriots.
We won.
Oh, okay.
But listen, that's the only team we didn't look good against.
Hey man, all right.
Anyway,
What about the Packers and the Vikings?
This division was tough for me, man. You said what, Demond?
No, go ahead.
I think this division can go any which way, out of all 4 of the teams. But so I got the Lions at 8-8. I just think that Matt Stafford don't got enough around him. I think they get enough, and I think that offensive line is terrible. They're getting better, but I just don't. I still see Matt Stafford running for his life and making plays. Now listen, Matt Ryan comes from behind. Matt Stafford, I keep saying Matt Ryan. Matt Stafford comes from behind a lot, and I think that really hurts them because they put them in themselves in the hole. They shoot themselves in the foot. So I got them going 8-8 just because they don't got enough around them. I got the Vikings at 10-6.
You got them lose.
Unknowns
You got
there.
them lose
I
the
think
first game too, right?
That can go either way. I don't got them losing the first game.
I'm messing with you, man. Go ahead.
Once we get to the NFC West. But so I got them. Yeah, I got them 10-6. Last year, their second best cornerback was Terrence Newman. That was their second best cornerback, Terrence Newman. My man, 40. I think that
he retired now.
Was in and out of there to play alongside of X as we call him, Xavier Rhodes. But I got to see somebody come solidify that second corner spot in that slot corner, which is getting prevalent. These slot receivers is taking off, and I just don't see. I think that was the area that got exploited last year. I am with Biv. Harrison Smith is a monster, but who's the other safety? I think that they can be passed on in a slot and on the other side. You said Sendejo.
No,
okay,
they
he's
got
all right.
George Iloka now from.
I don't think he starts. He got cut. He got cut from the Bengals for a reason. He's another cover safety. He's not really a big hitter. He's 6'4" for nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing. And because of the game.
James, who you got?
I got the Packers at 11-5.
My fault. I didn't know you was done. I'm sorry.
You got the Packers 11.
So you got
the Packers at 11-5. I do not. I do have the Packers winning the division. I got the Chicago Bears winning the division.
What's the Chicago Bears record?
To me, they're the most complete team in.
I said, what's their record?
What's the Bears' record?
11-5.
Hold on. So you got
the Bears?
Yes, the Bears.
Donkey. That was. Yeah.
Listen. Let me say this. The Bears edge rushers might be the best 2 edge rushers, maybe top 3 edge rushers. They can have the top 3 edge rushers in the NFC. They have linebacker and Danny Trevathan. Their corners are solid. And then you want to talk about safeties. My man, Amos is just. I would say he's just as good as Landon Collins, but he's solid. Penn State, he's a monster. You add Allen Robinson, who's solid. You got Taylor Gabriel. You got Jordan Howard. You got an offensive line that is solid. And I agree, it will come down to Mitch Trubisky, but I think he takes another step, another leap under Matt Nagy. He's an offensive guru. He did for Alex Smith. Well, he'll do the same thing with Mitchell Trubisky. Solid. Not saying that Mitchell Trubisky is Carson Wentz, but talent. So he's an athlete. He's an athlete, just like Carson Wentz, just like Alex Smith, and they got a big arm. And you got them taking that division because the rest of the division's weakness is the Bears' strength. The Lions and the Packers all have terrible offense. And with the addition of Khalil Mack, I don't see anybody stopping.
So let me ask this question, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the Vikings in the playoffs?
No, I don't have the Vikings in the playoffs. I don't think that Kirk Cousins upgrades the Vikings. Don't. I think the Vikings were good last year because they had a quarterback that did not turn the ball over. They were a top 5 running team, and he needed to. I don't see. I think them trying to open up that playbook where Kirk Cousins actually is going to hurt.
Now, have you looked at the schedule, right? Dumb, you looked at the schedule?
Yes.
And you see who they play.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it back up.
In all of December they play at New York Giants, then they play the Rams, then they play the Packers, at San Francisco, and at Minnesota.
I got okay. They'll beat Minnesota. The Giants, I just said they're 6-10. The Giants are terrible. The 49ers, we'll talk about them when we get over to the NFC West.
And the Rams and
Listen,
the Packers.
I think the Khalil Mack addition is huge.
So if
The Rams,
we had did this on Friday, it would have been different.
huh?
If we did the podcast on Friday, would it be different?
Yes, if we did the podcast on Friday, it'd have been different. The Vikings and the Packers would have been in the playoffs. But with the addition of Khalil Mack, he just takes their defense. It's like if you take Aaron Donald off the Rams, that's the same type of impact has. You put him on a defense that's actually a defense that wasn't terrible last year. You added to a strength that they already had. And you added Allen Robinson and Trey Burton and Jordan Howard, who's Tyreek Cohen, who's a year better. Mr. Trubisky, who's a year better. Last year, they had a defensive-minded head coach. This year, they have an offensive-minded head coach. I think that takes them to another level.
Okay, James, what's your take on the NFC North?
About their draft picks.
Speak on it, James. NFC North.
I got the Bears and the Lions 8-8. I got I like the Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers back. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings, man. The Vikings are strong, man. And I consider an upgrade from for Cousins. You know, I think that is an upgrade. So I think the Vikings win the division. But the Packers are right there. But they got Aaron Rodgers. That's it. The defense.
Can you tell me your thoughts on Kirk Cousins? Could you speak on that?
Say it again.
Could you tell me your thoughts on Kirk Cousins? Is he or isn't he?
He's killing the Redskins. But the Vikings team, he ain't gonna do too much, man. I'm telling you. I don't cook. They got better wide. They got who do the Redskins really have, man? So I think he's an upgrade for the Vikings. He's an upgrade for the Vikings, but yeah.
Paid you $84 million guaranteed to be Case Keenum-esque, meaning to manage the game.
He's better than Case Keenum. He's better than Case Keenum.
I'm not saying he's not better than Case Keenum. What I'm saying is I think they're going to put the ball in his hands more than they did Case Keenum's. And what I'm saying is I think that their offense is going to be built around him and not built around Dalvin Cook. I think they're going to throw the ball more.
I think if the Vikings had Case and Keenum last year, they would have beat Charles. I do. I mean, if they would have had Cousins last year, it would have beat the Eagles. I think that was the difference. Quarterback position.
They scored 7 points. 7 points.
It doesn't. All right, that's Case Keenum, man. That's Case Keenum. He got rattled after that pick. He got rattled.
We beat them. We beat Kirk Cousins twice last year.
Yeah, but, you can't count the Redskins, man. That Redskins team was terrible. That Redskins can't. If they had Kirk Cousins last year, it would have beat you.
I know.
They would have.
You was hoping anybody beat us. It doesn't matter. You was hoping anybody beat us.
I'm not. I'm telling you. No, I like the Eagles. All right,
we're not
Vikings. If they would have
look, they about to take it back to NFC East. Let's bring it back. I think that we can conclude that Dom said if this happened Friday, that the addition of Khalil Mack has upped them to being division champions. and he doesn't have the Vikings
Huge.
making the playoffs. But we all pretty much say the Packers are making the playoffs. Am I correct?
Have who making the
Packers
playoffs?
making the playoffs.
The Vikings. Yeah, yes, I have the Packers.
I do not have the Packers making the playoffs.
Okay, so everybody but Biv doesn't have the Packers making the playoffs. Everybody except Dom has the Vikings making the playoffs, and nobody except Dom has the Bears making the playoffs.
Yes.
So the Lions just
That was bold, but
that's bold. That's bold. That's very bold. But he said it's the addition of Khalil Mack, so can't knock that. The NFC South, I think, is one of the better divisions in the league. I have the Saints at 11-5. I have the Falcons at 12-4. I have the Panthers at 8-8, and I have the Bucks at 4-12. I think that, the two of the best teams in the NFC is in that division, in the Saints and the Falcons, and I think that one of whoever, like if it comes out 1-1, 2-1, either 2-0, either way, I think them two playing each other will determine who wins that division. But I think that with them playing the AFC North this year, I see them both can go 3-1 in that division. Y'all might say otherwise, especially with y'all being high on the Browns. But the Saints as well. Saints is a great team, has a decent defense, actually a more improved defense. You still got Drew Brees at the helm. You got Alvin Kamara, who broke out as a star. You're going to have Mark Ingram back week 5. You got Michael Thomas. You got Cameron Meredith now. So you got weapons out there. The Panthers, I don't see enough. Me giving them 8-8 was actually a gift. When you have your number one receiver was a tight end in college, and I guess you can call DJ Moore. We're trying this experiment again as far as a receiver that can blow the top off. You got Torrey Smith. I heard that they're going to be relying on Christian McCaffrey, which is not a slight to him, but I think that Cam has had his best years might be behind him. And they don't really have enough around him. They got Greg Olsen, but he's getting older. Their defense, the two in the middle, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, they're one of the best tandems in the league, but I just don't see them getting out of this division. And to round out the division, the Bucks. I mean, you got Jameis with a 3-game suspension, so that means Ryan Fitzpatrick is your starting quarterback for the first 3 weeks, which you can easily go 0-3. They don't know who's starting that running back. Poor Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson out there. They don't know who's going to throw them the ball or if they're going to be accurate. O.J. Howard, they have pieces, but the quarterback play has been spotty. Defensively, they're decent, but I mean, compared to that division, I see them at the bottom. NFC South, speak on it.
hello?
Yeah, speak on it.
Okay,
NFC South.
I'll go. So NFC South, I got of course, sucking. I got them 12-4. I mean 2-14. 16. Like you said, James Winston got that 10. Even if he played, man, they had the worst pass defense in the NFL last year. I know they added some pieces, but I just don't see them being good. That's really, really good. And the crazy thing is they have talent on the defensive side of the ball. It just seems like they don't mesh. And Jameis Winston can't put it together. I got the Panthers actually at 10-6. Defense is solid. They got rid of Calvin Benjamin last year, and they had the injury to what's the tight end name? Greg Olsen. He's coming back. With the injury, once they got rid of Calvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess took off. I mean, he started balling. They got DJ Moore. They got Curtis Samuels. They got Christian McCaffrey. They got Torrey Smith. So the team is not devoid of talent. It's just that they're going to have to do it by committee. I don't think that their go-to guy is going to be Greg Olsen, but I think they'll be solid. But defensively is where they is their bread and butter. Plus, Cam Newton running that ball is going to be their bread and butter. I do think they'll struggle a little bit because with the loss of Andrew Norwell. I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. But I think defensively they're solid. Also, Shaq Thomas is going to take off this year. They have a full healthy Luke Kuechly as well. I got the Saints as 11-5. The Saints is loaded. Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. I do think that they struggle a little bit with the loss of Mark Ingram for the first 4 games. I don't know if Alvin Kamara can actually carry the workload. That's yet to be seen, but we'll see. They got Cam Smith, who's a solid addition. And I also think that Drew Brees is getting older. So with Drew Brees getting a little bit older, something has to give. Same thing I said with Tom Brady. These quarterbacks are getting older, man. Something has to give. Defensively, they're solid. Marcus Lattimore, Marcus Williams, Cameron Jordan, they're solid. And then the Falcons, they're loaded also. Offensively and defensively, I got them going 11-5 as well.
Who you got winning the division?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, Biv, speak on it.
I got the Saints winning the division at 12-4. I got both Atlanta and Carolina finishing at 9-7. And I got Tampa Bay being absolutely horrible at 1-15.
Hold on, who's the one?
I like.
Who's the one?
Huh?
You did them
one?
like.
Come on, you don't really want to know who's the one.
Nah, who's the one? Nah, don't do that.
San Francisco.
Yeah, all right, Biv.
Just for you, man. Just for you. That was just for you. I knew you were going to ask that as soon as I said 1-15.
Wow. That's disrespectful, man.
But I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be horrible, man.
That's going to build a big. That's a big question after that, man. I'm gonna let you finish, but we got to talk on that.
I think they're going to be. I think the Bucs are going to be absolutely horrible. Like, I know they added JPP, but that's not enough to help their defense. Jameis, from last reports I heard, it is not even a guarantee that he's going to be the starting quarterback once he returns from suspension. So, and their coach should have probably been fired after last year anyway. So he's on borrowed time, in my opinion. And the team seems to quit on coaches that are up in the air. So 1-15. I like Carolina a lot, man. I like them a lot. But it's all going to depend on Cam if he can get back to that MVP performance. You know what I mean? If he can get back to that, I think they can be a real good team. I still think Atlanta they got that. They still suffering from that Super Bowl hangover. Matt Ryan was so inconsistent last year. And I'm not sure if he's going to go up or go down this year. I'm thinking that he's going to go down, and he's not going to be who he was a couple of years ago when he had the MVP season. But I still think they have enough talent around him to go 9-7. And the Saints, I think they got their insurance policy in Teddy Bridgewater if Drew Brees starts to decline. So, and I don't think they'll miss a beat with Teddy Bridgewater under center. So I just like the Saints. I think their defense is underrated. And once Mark Ingram gets back, that two-headed monster is a problem. So then one thing that really does help the Saints is their first game is Tampa, Cleveland at home, and then they go to Atlanta, which is another dome. So it's not going to be too much of a difference than playing at home. So missing Mark Ingram, I don't think will have too much of an effect those first 3 games.
Now, what's your question, Don?
So, Samaj, you got your picks already?
Yeah, I went first. I said the Falcons at 12-4, the Saints at 11-5, Panthers at 8-8, and Bucks at 4-12.
So, Biff, you said 1-5 for the Bucks. Is Jameis Winston a starting team?
No, I don't think GMs will take the risk on him. I don't think the teams will take the risk on him. And I think he's a decent quarterback, but I think it's too much baggage with him. I think unfortunately, he might have already took his last snap in the NFL.
Wow. Yeah, I think I can almost agree with you because, like I said, last podcast, I almost had the Bucks taking a quarterback with their first pick. I think that if they struggle, because they didn't pick up that option on him, I think if they struggle, Jameis Winston becomes a backup quarterback in the NFL, which is crazy because they was talking about him, comparing him to Peyton Manning as kid, the same gym rat, the same type of quarterback as Peyton Manning. Still young, but yeah. Hey, listen, Bill Belichick may get a hold of him, man.
I got a question. Dwayne, you already know where I'm going with this, man.
Huh?
All the 16